Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another great semester at EPCC. Welcome to the Tejano Virtual Events Happy Math Hour, your weekly interactive math reviews for Math 1314 and Math 1324, presented by Yvette Chuca, Ruben Carrizales, and Albert Isasi. Today's session will be combined for both Math 1314 and 1324. This session will be recorded so that you may come back to it at a later time if you need to, and so others may have missed today's event will be able to come and watch it. Thank you. So now at this time, please mute your mics for the best sound experience. Otherwise, the feedback could interfere with the information we'll be sharing today. Without further ado, here is Ms. Yvette Chuca and Robert Carrizales.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Ruben Carrizales, and I welcome you to the start of our Happy Math Hour for this fall semester 2024. So excited to start up again this semester. So welcome all aboard. As mentioned to you, all of you, today we're gonna be together. After today, we'll split the two sessions, one for the Math 1314 and the Math for 1324. So let's go ahead and get started. um, so um, we want to first point out is that if you are using Math 1314, the application that you'll be using or the web-based application you'll be using is WebAssign. And for Math 1324, you're going to be using something called MyMathLab. Okay. Um, Most of the sessions that we're going to be covering, not only will they cover the Math 1314 for the pre-cal class, but it's also students who are in the NCBM, especially the NCBM 0114, the 0314, 1314. Now, for those students that are in the Math 1324, this also will help students that are in the NCBM 0124, NCBM 0324, and again, the 1324. Okay. So let's start first with WebAssign. Whether it's a online class or face-to-face class, depending on how your professor set up your WebAssign. Um, Most professors are gonna give you a class key, and it will be on the syllabus. Okay, so that class key usually starts out with your professor's last name followed by digits. So when you log on to this web-based platform website, um, you're gonna go ahead and click on the enter class key, and it's gonna ask you to once you put it in, it's gonna take you into enrolling yourself, and it's gonna give you instructions on what to do, right? So again, the class key provided by instructor, again on for website, excuse me, it's gonna have this format. It's gonna be EPCC followed by 8 digits, excuse me, not your last name. That's for the MyMathLab. So for website again, it's gonna be um, something like this: EPCC followed by 8 digits. Okay. All right. So one of the things that we want to go over with you is how to navigate your Cengage um, um, WebAssign account. Okay. So the first thing you'll do is you'll see that you have on your home you'll have your courses, and here it's going to list all the courses. So some of you may also be taking a biology class or another science class that's also using WebAssign. So your courses will appear here right under your courses. Okay. Now, one of the things that we like to recommend students is always change your passwords. Okay, if you had a password before, or um, if you've had used WebAssembly before, or when if you're barely um, registering with WebAssembly, make sure you you use a strong password, and again, don't share those passwords with anyone, and make sure you remember it. Okay. Again, that's where you're going to can change your passwords under your name. Okay, so under courses, again, you will find all the courses that are part of the Cengage products. Again, you can be taking several classes that use Cengage, and all of them will be found under this one tab. Okay. And then the one that we want to go over is the rental options tab. Okay, so this is it. If you want to rent a hard copy book. So when you get access to your WebAssign account, okay, your account comes with an ebook. Okay, so if you're one of those that wants to actually have a physical book and hold it, there's a way to rent a copy of it through also Cengage. Okay. All right, so one of the nice features that we like to point out on WebAssign is that you are able to change the language that the application has. So again, the default language that when you create your WebAssign account and log into it is English, but you are able to change it. Okay, let's say that you feel more comfortable. Let's say since we're in the border town here, you're more comfortable in reading the informations or the tabs, everything in Spanish, you are able to change that. And again, you just go into that right hand corner of your page where there's like a little a circle like a world, and then you scroll down to change the language. Okay, so again, this is just a snippet of what it would look like if I changed it into Spanish. Again, all of the tabs, instead of saying home, inicio, things like that. Okay, it'll change all the tabs, and all the instructions will be in Spanish. So so I want to point out another little icon here, and this is the email notification. Okay, so the email notification, um, I will let you know as far as due date changes and all of that. So it's a great button to always keep track of. Okay. All right. So going into my ebook. So on again on the major tab here, where it says my ebooks, when you click on it, okay, it's going to give you access to your electronic um, book. It's a pre-calculus book. Again, this is for all the classes that are 13, 14, and the NCBM related classes. You can get your ebooks under this tab. Okay. All right, the communications tab on the top. Okay, that's if you to want to send a new message. You can check your messages. You'll get flags telling you that you have messages, and here's where you'll find them. Again, you're gonna have an inbox of all the messages that you received, and it also has a tab of all the messages that you sent. Okay. All right, the grades. So this tab here, it's a ongoing continuous running tab. Okay, this will tell you um, what your current grade is for your particular class. Now, so please be aware again, if you are taking an online class, that grade will be accurate. Okay, if you are taking a face-to-face class, also meet with your instructor, talk to your instructor, because your instructor will let you know that that grade only reflects possibly maybe your homework grade, because that's since it's a face-to-face class, all you're doing under the WebAssign platform are homework. So that grade might only reflect homework. Okay, so just there's something to keep in mind. All right. And then lastly, but the most important, are my assignments. This is where all classes are going to find all of your homework assignments. All that you have to do for a grade, you're going to find under this tab. Okay. And again, be aware that they are labeled with their due dates and when they're available. If there are any restrictions, again, everything you'll find here under my assignments. All right, so a little bit here on some resources that you can find for WebAssign. Okay, so one of the it's under the class insights, announcements, and resources. Here, professors are gonna put in their syllabus. You can find the syllabus here. You also can find some slides, PowerPoint presentation videos, announcements that your instructors might put in. All of this will be here under class insights, announcements, and resources. Okay. All right. So again, this is just an example as far as like the resources that I'm talking about. If you click on the actual resources, it's going to pop a little another window, and again it's going to give you some information. Again, as you see here, these for the one that I have here as an example is for lecture videos. You can see videos of presentations of the section 1.1. You can see section videos of 1.2. So all the information or topics and material that are in your book, you can access them here under the resources. Okay, so we always like students to look at their personal study plan. Okay, so for instance, under this, it will give you hints and a study plan as far as um, what to look for, what you need to do, what you need in order to succeed in your class. Okay, so again, you'll have instructions for every chapter and section, and then again, this is some additional stuff that you want. You can also do practice quizzes here, do tutorials if your instructor makes them available. Okay. All right, so this is just an example, a preview of how the assignments look under WebAssign. Again, as I was telling you, when you click on that assignment tab at the home page, for instance, you're gonna see, chapter one, and it has a section homeworks where they are, and then you'll see it has their due dates when they're due. Okay, so after each assignment or next to each assignment, you're going to have these little labels, and each little label is going to indicate maybe restrictions or information of that section. So, for instance, here, the one that's kind of highlighted or faded, the graded lab quiz, it has three little icons here. So, that first icon there, it says that with a little box with dots, that means that this quiz is password protected. That means that your instructor has to give you the password in order for you to access this assignment. Okay. Um, so the other little icon that you see here to the right, that looks like a little stopwatch, it means precisely that this assignment is timed. That you're once you access it, you have a certain time limit to do, and as an example for this assignment, it says you have 50 minutes to complete that assignment. Okay, some assignments you're gonna have this little box with a little lock in. Means it's a locked on browser required. So mostly this applies to our online students that are taking their quizzes and exams online only. Um, they have to be able to download this special browser that will allow the students not to access any other web pages. It allows them to, um, um, again, have restrictions for those assignments. Okay. All right. So tools within the assignments. Once you are in an assignment, okay, you have a lot of tools that can help you um, with doing your homework. So, for instance, a few of those, okay. Oh, so a few of those is you can look at notes. You can practice another version. Let's say that you don't want to. You have submissions. Some instructors put on how many tries you can attempt a problem. So say if you don't want to um, lose on some of the tries that you have, You can practice other versions just to make sure that you understand how to do it. And my favorite button that I tell all my students, whether they're face to face or online, is that if they ever get stuck in a problem, this little button, the ask your teacher, is awesome because let's say that you get stuck on a problem and you select that button, I we get a notification directly to us, and that notification comes fully detailed. It tells us who you are, what class you're in, and what problem you're working on that you're having difficulty. So I encourage all my students to always use the WebAssign Ask Your Teacher button for help. Okay. All right. So now let's switch over to the other platform, which is My Math Lab. Again, this online platform is for all those students who are in Math 1324 or the NCBM respective classes. Again, so to register, um, you're gonna click on the student tab. Okay. And once you're ready to register, your instructor, again, just like before, is going to give you a course ID. Okay, now on this one, it's the course ID will look like your professor's last name followed by digits. Okay, now we have something that's called first day access, and I think let me see if those instructions are here. But again, once you put that course ID in, it's gonna take you to a page where either if you've had a MyMathLab account before, you can use that same account to log in. If you never had a MyMathLab account, you're going to go ahead and create one. So once you've created your MyMathLab account, um, it's going to take you to the access code page. Okay, so let me emphasize this semester, my math lab for 1324 students has something that's called first day access. And what first day access means is that you no longer have to purchase the code via your credit card or PayPal or anything like that. You don't have to go to the bookstore and buy your access and the book. Um, Now, when you register for your class, you've already paid for this access code. Okay, so we have to be careful. Your access code, whether it's a face-to-face class or an online class, is gonna be you're gonna find it under your Blackboard course page. Okay, so you'll have to log on to your EPCC Blackboard course page, and then your Blackboard course page, you're going to find an icon when you click on your class. Let's say 1324. When you click on your class, you're gonna find a link that says Barnes and Noble on there. You're gonna click on it. When you click on the Barnes and Noble link, it's going to give you a message saying, um, this is your access code. What do you want to do? And one of the buttons is reveal the access code. Okay, so when you click on reveal the access code, you're gonna, on the right side of the blackboard, it's gonna reveal this is your access code, and it's like about a 16-digit code. It's a bunch of numbers and letters. Okay, you're gonna click on there, copy. Okay, once you click copy, you're gonna select that first option, the use access code. Okay, let me see. Um, now, so once you click that access code, and it's gonna, or that button access code, it's gonna say type in the access code. All you have to do is click on the first box, right click on your mouse and hit paste, and the system will put all the numbers in the boxes, and you're gonna click on finish, and you are done. You'll be able to, you'll have access to your class. Okay. Now, I do want to stress this out, and I'm going to take advantage that I'm here in the math happy hour. For those of my students or students that are taking 1324, but are also taking an NCBM class with your 1324, these are correct classes. If you are one of a student that are taking two math classes at the same time, meaning again, a math 1324 and an NCBM class, your access code will be found under your NCBM class. Okay, so if you try to access the Barnes and Noble from the 1324 and you have an NCBM, you're gonna get a blank access code. There's nothing gonna be there. Your access code will be found under your NCBM class. So you'll have to go, when you click on your Blackboard, click on your NCBM math class, depending on which one it is. Again, there's three of them. You click on it. Um, when you click on it, again, you'll search for the Barnes and Noble link, click on it, and then that class will reveal your access code. And then you'll follow the same steps. You copy it, and then you will paste it on your access code button here on WebAssign. So once you've done that, again, voila, you are done. You have registered for it again. You don't have a temporary access that you've paid for it. It's going to continue till for the semester. Okay, so it's going to tell you your course. Again, this example, it's me, Barru and Carrizales, and it tells you when it ends. This is an old copy. I did this back in 2021, right? But again, these are just briefly a few steps on how to do it. Hopefully, again, we're done the week. Most of you have already done this and accessed this. This is just a quick review for those of you who still hadn't had a chance to do it. Okay. So again, once you've logged on to my MathLab course, and you've enrolled in the course, again, this is an example, an NCB instruction, Math 1324, and CPM 0124. When you click on it, again, a few things you can find under your course is the calendar. You'll have announcements as far as when homeworks are available and due, when quizzes are available and due, any announcements that you have for your class, you'll find under your calendar. Okay, just like the website, I want to go over on my math lab. You have a multimedia library. Here's where you'll find additional information about the chapters. Okay. So again, you can do a study plan as well. The study plan gives you information as far as what you need to know about the sections, practice. You have practice quizzes, information to get you started. And again, the stuff on the study plans are extra information. You're not going to get graded on this. This is just for you to better understand the material and go over stuff that will prepare you to be a better student. Yes. Okay, so again, we have accessible resources just like the other platform. Here under the resources is where you're going to find PowerPoint presentations, videos, explanations based on the sections that you'll have in your class. And here we have a skills for success. Um, I like this feature that this application has. Again, it has some learning objectives. It has some videos that talk about some of the stuff that our students struggle with. You know, most of math, our students say that they don't like math or dislike math, or that they think that they're not good in math. So here, under these skills and for success, help you deal with those questions that you may have. You know, trying to change that way of thinking that that you can do math. So there's has a lot of features where it gives you things for success for you to know that you can do this and help you and guide you to do your class. Okay. All right. And again, um, these are the same features. It has videos. And then again, there's also modules that you have for success. Again, they're based for our college classes. We have things for college transition, for online platforms, for reading, all of this, for stress management, time management. You have a whole bunch of skill resources and activities that you can work out to help you be a better student. Okay. All right. And again, we have some professionalism tools. It comes with um, other videos, some job search documents, sample interview questions. Again, these are just study skills that welcome. I encourage my students to go and visit, not just look at their math homework, but also look at all the stuff that this platform offers to you. All right, so again, going back to our course home menu for MyMathLab, um, it has a series of steps that you want to do and go over. Again, these are things that you want to see before you start the assignment. Again, it gives you hints on how to answer questions, how to use the help support buttons under MyMathLab. Gives you course information. So again, there's ample information to help you succeed and navigate through your MyMathLab account. Okay, so again, I want to go over some of the homework tools that MyMathLab has. Again, just like before, if you click on the question help, it has a series of ways to help you answer questions. In this one, it has help me solve it. It's a step-by-step process on how to solve this problem. And you also have an option how to view an example of a similar problem on how to solve this problem. And again, this one also has that awesome feature that I love, which is ask my instructor. Like if these other features didn't help you out, I encourage my students to use this feature because again, this feature sends an email message to us telling us who you are, what class you're in, what section you're in, what problem you're having the difficulties with, and we can help you a lot faster um, and it helps us a lot. Okay. Um, and again, it has a settings feature too for the accessibility, okay? All right, so again, this is a snippet or a section of how your help me solve this tab helps you or appears. So let's say that I need some help on how to solve this order of operations. So it's gonna give you a different problem, okay? And it's gonna show you how to solve it step by step, okay? Again, to view an example, it's going to give you a very similar example. So if you see here, the original example has 5 parentheses times 8 plus 4 squared. This one has 7, bracket 5 plus 2 to the fourth power. It's very similar, but it's going to show you step by step on how to do that problem. And that way you have an idea of how to solve your problem given. Okay. Again, under the resources, you'll find the videos. The videos are presentations and examples of the problems that you are doing in that section 1.1. You can view the textbook. It takes you directly to the section 1.1 when you click on the link. And again, it also has a link for the study plan. Okay, so again, just looking at a snippet or a snapshot of what the eBook looks like. When you go into, let's say, for instance, section 1.3, this is how like the start of 1.3 looks like. This is just the title. And again, you scroll down through the sections and pages of the book, okay, of the ebook. So what I like to do now is pass it over to my colleague to go over some of these stuff that you'll be seeing in your classes. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Carizales. So now we're just gonna jump into doing some math, and the goal of Happy Math Hour is that every week we're gonna be covering examples following the calendar in your classes. And so this week, everybody kind of has started to um, graph. Okay, so graphing plays an important role throughout the whole semester. And so here we're just gonna cover these that are in green, and then later on you'll see some other examples with transformations. And so uh, just to introduce myself, my name is Yvette Chuka, and again, we're excited to be here hosting the Friday Happy Math Hour. So graphing equations, point plotting method is probably the first method you might ever seen, whether it was back in high school or even in your classes this week. And so the what point plotting method is basically we create a table and we have values for x, and then we have values for y, and our goal is to figure out what this order pair is going to be. So x is the independent variable, and so since it's independent, we can really choose any number we want for x, but we do recommend that you use some negative, some positive, and always use 0 if you're able to use 0. Then we're going to substitute the x values into x, and then we want to figure out what y is. And so here, the x values that I like to use are usually -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So one of the questions is, well, how many points do I need to use? And that's really up to you and to decide. If you feel like you need more after graphing a couple, then you want to do that. If the equation is not aligned, then for sure you need more than 2 points. Okay, so here we're going to take -2. We're going to plug it in for x. So we have -2 times -2 plus 5. If we simplify, we get 4 plus 5, which is 9. And so in this case, when x is -2, we get y equals 9. And that creates our ordered pair, -2 and 9. Then we're going to do the same for the other values. So if I put a -1, then I get -2 times -1, which is +2, plus 5 is going to give us 7. So our ordered pair would be -1 and 7. If we plug in 0, -2 times 0 is 0. Plus 5 is going to give us 5. So our ordered pair would be 0 and 5. By the way, if you want to download this PowerPoint, if you see my mouse here, right above the mouse, you should see a box with an arrow pointing down. If you click on that, this PowerPoint will be downloaded to your computer. So the next one, for the next 2 points, we did the same thing, substituted the 1 for x. And if we simplify, we got y equals 3. And so this should be a 1. And then the same thing with the 2, we plug it in. And so this 0 should be a 2. So this point is 1, 3, and this point is 2, 1. So once you have your ordered pairs, then we want to just plot them. So x is -2. So negative is to the left, and then +9 goes up. And we plot the rest of the points. And then if you're working in your homework, make sure if it says to plot the points, then this would be your answer, just plotting the points. But if it says to graph the equation, then that's when we go ahead and draw the line. Okay. Let's try another example. So y equals 5 minus x squared. Again, we're going to pick some points for x and then solve for y. So if x is -2 and I plug it in, then -2 squared is going to be 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So my ordered pair here is going to be -2 and 1. And then we'll do the same for the next point. So we plug in -1. -1 squared is going to be +1. So 5 minus 1 would give us a 4, giving us an ordered pair of -1 and 4. Okay, and similarly, if we do the rest of the 3 points, we're plugging in 0 for x. Here we plugged in 1 for x and 2 for x. So if we simplify, then we get 5, 0, 5. If we simplify here, we get 5 minus 1 is 4. And then 2 squared is 4, so 5 minus 4 is 1. So these are our ordered pairs. If I plot them, then this is what they look like after we plot them. And since it says to graph, that means we're going to connect the points. And so if I connect the points, then it forms this parabola. Okay, so anytime you're working on any problem, if you're not sure what it looks like, then this would be one way to figure out what the method is going to be. You can use point plotting method to figure out what the graph is going to look like. Now, another method that we can use, this method works perfectly if you have a linear equation. And so in your classes, you're going to learn that a linear equation, we know that something is linear if the highest exponent for x is a 1. So in this example, the exponent for x is a 1. And so this is going to be a line. So if it's a line, then you can use just the x and y intercept. If it's not a line, you can still use x and y intercept, but you might need to plot more points so that you can get an idea of what the graph looks like. So what is x and y intercepts? So the intercepts is where the graph crosses the x-axis and where the graph crosses the y-axis. So in this example, -3, 0 is called an x-intercept because it's crossing this x-axis. And then 0, 3 is called the y-intercept because it's crossing the y-axis. But notice that in your x-intercept, the value of y is 0, and in the y-intercept, the value of x is 0. And that information is going to help us solve for the x and y intercepts. So whenever you're asked to find these intercepts, we let y equal 0 and solve for x for the x-intercept. And the y-intercept, we let x equal 0 and solve for y. So let's go ahead and do this example. So we're going to find the x-intercept. We're going to go ahead and let y equal 0 and solve for x. So here y is 0. Now I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. And I get negative 2x is equal to negative 5. And I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 2. So negative 5 divided by negative 2 will be positive 5/2. So that's going to be our x-intercept. And then our y-intercept, we're going to let x equal 0. Negative 2 times 0 is 0, plus 5 would be 0, 5. And so now that we have the x-intercept and the y-intercept, we can plot them, which I did here, and connect them with our line. So this would be our graph. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to see in this week in your classes is writing equations of a line. And in a little bit, our other colleague, Mr. Isasi, will explain these. But just before he does that, for equations of a line, we have something called the general form, which looks like this. We have the point slope form, and then the y-intercept form. So in all of these 3 forms, my favorite is probably the slope-intercept form. But, I mean, we use whichever one is easier to use depending on the question. And so Mr. Isasi is going to cover writing equations of a line. And Mr. Isasi, Mr. Carizales, and I are usually the ones that would do the happy hour. And so you'll be hearing our voices throughout the semester. And so I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mr. Isasi.
Yes, thank you, Yvette. Yes, hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Isasi, and I teach here at the campus at TM, the TM campus. Okay, now writing equations of a line. Write the equation of a line with a slope 4 and the y-intercept 5.
Okay, so maybe we lost Mr. Isasi. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Yvette. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, now I can. Yeah.
Okay. Again, guys, writing the equation of a line with a slope 4 and the y-intercept 5. So we're trying to write the equation in slope-intercept form, right? So we need to find my m and I need to find my b. My m is my slope, which is 4, and my b is the y-intercept, which is 5. So all we do is plug him in. So I'm going to plug in the 4 for the m and the 5 for the b. So here's my equation. It's going to be y equals to 4x plus 5. Okay, now we have another example. Write the equation of the line with slope negative 2 and pass this through the point 0, negative 4. Okay, now here's the solution. Do we know the slope and do we know the intercept? The slope is given, right, which is negative 2, and the y-intercept is going to be negative 4 because the y-intercept is for x equals to 0, whatever the y-intercept will be the number on the y value here, which is negative 4. So we do know both the m and the y-intercept, which is a b. So my m will be give us negative 2, and the b will be negative 4, which is a y-intercept. So then all we're just going to plug him in. I'm going to plug in the negative 2 for the m on the equation and the negative 4 for the b. So here's my equation. Y equals to negative 2x minus 4. That's the equation that we're looking for. Let's go to the next slide. Now, here's another example. write the equation of the line that passes through the points 1, -3, and 0, 4. Again, are we given the slope and the y-intercept? You see, guys, the slope is not given, so we're going to have to find the slope by using the slope formula. And the y-intercept is going to give us 4, right? Because remember, when x equals to 0, whatever the value on the y place is, that's my y-intercept. So let's see what the formula is. Okay, so here are we given the slope and y-intercept? No, but we can, but we do have enough information to find them, which I just mentioned in the previous slide. Here is a formula to find the slope. Is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Since the point 1, -3 is my first point, I'm going to call it x sub 1, and the -3 will be y sub 1. And the second point is point 2. The 0 will be my x sub 2, and my y value will be my y sub 2, which is a 4. So all we do is plug them into the formula. My y2 is 4 minus my y1 is -3. And my x2 is 0, and my x1 is 1. So then 4 minus -3 will give us a positive, it will be 4 plus 3, which will give us a 7 in the numerator. And 0 minus 1 will give us -1. So 7 divided by -1 will give us -7. So the -7 is my slope. Now, the y-intercept, like I mentioned earlier, will be the 4. Because remember, guys, when x equals 0, whatever the y value here is 4, so that's going to be my y-intercept. So my intercept will be 0, 4. Which now I got my m, which is -7, and I got my y-intercept, which is 4. So we plug him into the equation, right? The m is -7, and the b is 4. The b is my y-intercept, which is 4. So I found the equation that we're looking for, which is y equals to -7x plus 4. Okay, now here's another example. It says write the equation of the line that passes through the points 2, 0, and -1, 4. Okay, now guys, a lot of mistakes the students make is that they think that the 2, 0 is my y-intercept, but it's not, right? Because 2, 0 is my x-intercept, and the x-intercept is now required for the to find the equation. So here we need to find both the y-intercept and also my slope. So again, we're going to use the slope formula to find my slope. The first point is 2, 0, and my second point is -1, 4. So the 2 on the first one will be my x1, and the 0 will be my y1. And the -1 will be my x2, and the 4 will be my y sub 2. So we're going to plug in both our values in the formula. Again, my y2 is 4 minus my y1 is 0. That's what we have, 4 minus 0. My x2 is -1, and my x1 is 2. So we're going to plug into the formula. So we have 4 minus 0 over -1 minus 2. This gives us -4/3. And again, we don't have the y-intercept, but we have enough information to actually find it. Okay. And again, the y-intercept is not 2, 0. So we have to use one of either formula. This is called the point slope formula, or we can use the slope intercept form to find my b, or the y-intercept. We're going to choose, here you guys can choose either point, the 2, 0 or the -1, 4. But we always try to choose the point that's easier. For example, the 2, 0 is easier because the numbers are positive and we have a 0. It'll make the math calculations a lot easier. But if you want, you can use the other point too. You get the same result. But we're going to use the point 2, 0. Right, so if we use a point 2, 0, that means, right, and the formula, the point slope formula, I'm going to plug in 2 for x and 0 for y. That's why here my y1 will be 0, and my x1 will be 2. So it's going to give us y minus 0 equals to negative 4/3, parentheses, x minus 2, close parentheses. So again, if we, here guys, right? Y minus 0 will give us y on the left side. We're going to multiply or distribute the negative 4/3 times the x and negative 4/3 times the negative 2. Negative 4/3 times x will give us negative 4/3 x. Negative 4/3 times negative 2 will give us a positive 8/3. So this is my equation that we're looking for. Y equals to negative 4/3 x plus 8/3. Now, if we use the other equation, right? Excuse guys, but this is I did a mistake. Not a mistake, but the parentheses are overlapping. But if we use the second formula, which is the slope-intercept form, right? My y is 0 and my x is 2. And I already have my slope, right? So I'm going to plug all the values there. So my y is 0. My n, which is my slope, is negative 4/3. And my x is 2. On the left side, we just have 0. Left side of the equal sign. On the right side, we have to multiply negative 4/3 times 2, which will give us negative 8/3, and then plus b. So we're going to add 8/3 to both sides to solve for b. So if we add 8/3 to both sides, b equals to 8/3. So now I have my equation. My slope, it was negative 4/3, and my b is 8/3. So all we do is plug him in, and we have our equation. If you notice, it's the same one as what we did using the point slope formula. Okay, now, another example is write the equation of the line that is parallel to the line y equals to 2x plus 4 and passes through the point negative 3, 4. Let me illustrate what they want us to find here, guys, okay? This is really, the concept here, what they're trying to find. The line y equals to negative 2x plus 4 is this line here. And the point that they want us, we're trying to find a line that's parallel to this line, to the given line, that's parallel to another line that passes through the point negative 3, 4. You see, guys, this is really what, the concept here. Okay, so we're trying to find this line in red here. That's what we're trying to find. Okay, so parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so we're going to get the slope from the given equation, y equals to negative 2x plus 4, right? My slope is negative 2. So I'm going to use, now I got my slope, negative 2, right? And then we have the point. So now we're going to do a similar example as what we did in the previous slide, right? When they give you the slope and they give you the point. So I have all the information. Right, so here it is again. My slope is negative 2, which is in blue, and we have the point negative 3, 4. So we're trying to find the line in red. So again, we can use either formula, the point slope formula on the left, or the slope intercept formula on the right. Okay, if we use the point slope formula, we know that my slope is was negative 2, right? Is negative 2, so I'm going to plug in negative 2 for the m is, and the point is negative 3, 4. My x is negative 3, so I'm going to plug it in here where it says x1. I'm going to plug it in there, and the y value on the point is 4, so I'm going to plug it in for the y1. And now I'm going to simplify. So x minus negative 3 will give us x plus 3. Now I need to distribute the negative 2 with the x and also with a positive 3. That will give us, again, here it is. So now that's going to give us negative 2x minus 6, because negative 2 times x will give us negative 2x, and negative 2 times positive 3 will give us a negative 6. We're almost done here, guys, right? Because now I need to isolate the y, put it in y-intercept form. So I need to add 4 to both sides. Right, so if I add 4 to both sides, on the left side, the negative 4 plus 4 will give us a 0. So that's why there's only the y on the left. And now I need to add the negative 6 plus the 4, which will give us negative 2. So this results on the equation that we're looking for. Y equals to negative 2x minus 2. Now, they have the same equation and the same point, but now they're looking for the line that's perpendicular to the line here, and that passes through the point negative 3, 4. It's going to be very similar to the previous example that we did, but the only difference is that perpendicular lines, they have the opposite reciprocal. So what we do here, guys, right? We know that my slope is negative 2. And again, the same strategy or procedure that we want to do from the previous example, we want to place, get the equation in the form, in the slope-intercept form. So this is not the slope, right? This is the slope for this equation, but not for it to be perpendicular. This week we covered that perpendicular lines have the opposite negative reciprocal. Okay, which means if my slope was negative 2, right? The opposite sign will be positive 2. Positive, right? And then the reciprocal will be 1/2, because 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1. And if you use a reciprocal, all you do is flip them. So it's going to give us positive 1/2. So now I have the point, I have my slope. So now again, we can use either equation, the point slope formula, or the slope intercept form. So again, we're sticking to the point slope formula. So I know that my point was negative 3, 4. So the y value, the y1 is 4, and the x1 is negative 3. So I'm going to plug it in on the properties. And my slope that was perpendicular to the equation was 1/2. Now I'm going to simplify. Here x minus negative 3 will give us x plus 3. And now I need to distribute the 1/2 with the x and with the positive 3. This will give us 1/2 times x will give us 1/2 x, and 1/2 times positive 3 will give us 3 over 2. But remember, we have to isolate the y, right? Because we want it in the slope intercept form. So this negative 4 has to go to the right. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. Right, so on the left side, the negative 4 plus 4 will give us 0. And now we have to add 3/2 plus 4. So here, guys, we have to find the LCD, right? The LCD is going to give us 2. The LCD is 2. So the 4 becomes 8 over 2. So we have 1/2 x plus 3 over 2 plus 8 over 2. Now we can add the 3/2 plus the 8/2, which will give us 11 over 2. So my final equation will give us 1/2 x plus 11 over 2. And I believe this was the last slide or the last example. I hope what we covered today, guys, Mr. Carizales and Ms. Chuca and myself, is going to be helpful for the first week of this fall semester. Okay, let me take it back to our host.
Next week, we will have evaluate combination of functions and composite functions. Thank you so much to Mr. Robert Carizales, Yvette Chuca, and Albert Isasi for presenting today. Thank you to the audience for coming and being a wonderful audience, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.